Hey everybody, Koricon here, and Venom was directed by Ruben Fleischer, who had also directed Zombieland, which was probably his most famous movie. It's starring Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, Venom of course, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed as Carlton Drake / Riot. Now that's not a spoiler because they put it in the trailer. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the trailer needs to stop giving away information in the third act. Because when they do that, for one, I could guess most of the movie, and two, we're just expecting it. So we're waiting for that moment. Now, Venom, it's one of those movies where the storyline is blah, but I like the character. So Tom Hardy did a good job as Eddie Brock, and I loved Venom. I like their banter and their interaction. They do a good job with the dynamics of that character, but the story he's in is not good. This makes a difficult decision for me in that I kind of want a sequel because I want the direction that they're going in, but I almost don't want a sequel because Sony can't seem to make a good movie when it comes to comic book characters. I think the problem that they have is the production and the people that are in upper management that are involved in making the movie. They are putting their fingers, too many people in play on how the story should be, and not letting the filmmakers make a movie. All of our actors did a decent job with the characters that they were given. Of course, Tom Hardy was really good as Eddie Brock. Michelle Williams was okay. She didn't have much screen time, but her character was, it was just all right. Riz Ahmed, acting-wise, he did a pretty good job. But the character they gave him didn't really allow him to do some good acting, if that makes sense. They used a character that was in the comic books named Carlton Drake, who was a scientist. And in the comic books, he was doing testing on Venom and pulling parts off of the symbiote and creating other symbiotes. One of those symbiotes was Riot, who's a much bigger, stronger symbiote. Now, in this movie, they have Riot, which we saw in the trailer at the end there. But in the movie, they named him once and basically gave him a 1 or 2 sentence explanation of who he was. And he doesn't even show up until the end of the movie. They had him kind of in the film, and this is probably going to get into some spoilers here. So if you don't want to know, then go ahead and, skip to the end. I'll put a timestamp of when I stop talking about these spoilers, but I kind of have to, just to explain why I didn't like the villain. In this, we had 2 one-dimensional villains. On one side, we had Carlton Drake, who was in most of the movie, and then his character kind of went away. And then we had Riot, who was in the final third act of the film with just a little introduction, and came in late, so you have no connection with him. You have a fight scene that is a bit too close on the camera, so it's harder to tell what's going on, and it goes by fairly quickly. So there's no big payoff. The only reason to really see this movie is to see the interaction with Eddie Brock and Venom. So the movie was a miss for me. However, I do kind of want to see a sequel. I'm disappointed in Sony, and I'm afraid they're going to do the same thing in the sequel because Venom is making money. So they have no motivation to kind of make a movie better. They just want to kind of do the same thing that's going to make them money. So I'm not sure that they would do a good sequel, even though they would have a good villain. I'm sure the villain has been given away in a lot of videos, but I'm not going to do that. You would have to watch the movie if you want that information, or you could probably guess if you're a Venom fan. Overall, the movie was just okay. If you're a Venom fan and you want to see the Eddie Brock relationship, then by all means go and watch it. If you're wanting to go see a really good comic book movie, you might as well skip it in the theaters and just rent it on video at some point. I don't think it's really worth the money to go watch it in theaters. But if you're interested, do it. if you're on the fence, I would skip it and rent it. Overall, I'm going to give Venom a C. As you can tell, I was disappointed with the film, and I feel conflicted. You know, I kind of want them to just give Eddie Brock and Tom Hardy to Marvel and let them do the sequel, just like they loaned out Spider-Man. And what they're trying to do is kind of make Venom a part of the MCU, like try and convince Marvel to be in there. Probably once they finish the contract with Spider-Man, they're probably hoping to get Tom Holland over to play Spider-Man in their little Venom universe that they're trying to create. And I don't think any of that would work. They need to focus on making whatever universe they want to make, not worry about what Marvel is doing, and spend the time to write a good story. I think part of the reason Sony makes bad movies is they don't spend the time to really hone the script. They rush into production, they make a script, they probably go into filming with only after doing 3 drafts. They don't really get into the nitpicky parts of the script. Marvel seems to be doing that. Sony just isn't. But what do you guys think? Comment below and let me know. All links to my stuff is in the description below, or you can go to my website, Koricon.net, and I will see you guys on the next video.